David.
I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do our review of Pandemic. And if you haven't had a chance yet, please check out our How to Play video and playthrough. And Pandemic is part of our project to do videos on the top 100 family games, according to Board Game Geek users. And as of October 2019, Pandemic is in the top 10 of the top 100 family games.
Nice.
It's also on the top 100 lists, I believe, of strategy and overall.
Wow.
So behind us is a sample of the top 20 family games according to Board Game Geek users. And soon, those will be gone. We'll be doing 20
Very
through 40 soon. Julie's excited.
I'm
I am
so
too.
excited.
It's taken us a while to get through these because we do Kickstarter games and other things
I'm
as
sure
well.
you guys are excited to see too.
All right, so
Here's the overview.
we're going to do the overview. I'm going to do it this time.
Oh, okay, honey.
All right, so it's a family strategy game, 2 to 4 players, 45 minutes, ages 8 and up. Action points. It involves action points, cooperative. It's a cooperative game with hand management, point-to-point movement, set collection, trading, variable player powers, and is published by Z-Man Games.
Wow.
So if you haven't seen our reviews before, Julie comes up with a list of 5 things of positive, negatives, and neutrals, and I do the same. We don't share our lists, so often we see our lists for the first time
Right here.
on camera.
With you guys.
All right, so go ahead. Julie, you give your list first.
Alrighty. I think this is a great cooperative game, and if you guys have seen a lot of our reviews, you know that I'm a real big lover of cooperative games. The cards add the right amount of stress, meaning you never know when you flip something up if you're going to get an epidemic. You don't know when you're doing infection cards if you're going to end up with an outbreak. It's just really fun. It's easy to play, and it does play very fast with 2 players.
Yeah, we played 35 minutes.
Yeah, it was perfect. For me personally, and the outbreaks can be confusing, and it's not a negative.
Yeah, you saw in the playthrough that you have.
Yeah.
Well, plus 2, it's confusing for you to understand how to trade cards. But
Yes.
that's because she hasn't. This is her second time she's played Pandemic in the last maybe year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, so.
We haven't played it that often lately.
But I do really like it. That was my only, and it's not a negative, it's just for me, I struggle with it.
Right, you need help with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you my
All
list.
right, let's see what you have to say.
Okay, so it's a smooth cooperative gameplay. Some cooperative games have issues with being really fiddly. This does not have that issue. So it's memorable tension. So in other words, you remember the game you played days after. Okay?
Sure.
And in fact, when you watched the playthrough, we played at heroic level. And we were able to win, and we actually won with enough cards left that we actually could have eradicated the last 2 diseases. So we did really well.
We did.
Which is not always the case. We got lucky with the card draws. So it was actually interesting that we were able to do that.
I agree.
So educational connections. When I used to be an administrator of a gifted and talented program, we had grant money to buy games. I got a class set of these. Oh. And so some of the science teachers did use these in the middle school self-contained programs.
Oh, that's cool.
But this has great science connections. If you're a science teacher and have a game club, or you do an after-school program, this is excellent connections. If you run an honors class, or you run a self-contained gifted and talented class, or an AP class, your kids could handle this. I would not necessarily use it with a regular class if you have kids that have difficulty reading or paying attention for a long time.
True.
At least total class. If I'm sitting with 4 kids,
You could do it.
I can do it because then I can manage behaviors.
Right.
But total class, regular
way.
total class with so much differentiation and abilities, I would not recommend it.
No.
But again, just the science connections alone is awesome, and this is part of the standards for some of. I don't know if it's part of elementary, but it's definitely part of middle school and high school standards.
Interesting.
To go over diseases.
Well, that makes sense.
But anyway, going back to my list. So it has a high level alpha gamer. Okay, so what I mean by that is that you'll see with Julie, I was dominating her moves. I was saying you should do this because we needed to do that in order to win. Now maybe for playing the easy setting with the characters we had, I could have just stood back and just let her decide and then we would have had some flexibility to mess up. But so usually what happens in this game, somebody will know the game better than others, and it becomes almost like a solo game. So Julie did anticipate the moves that had to be done, but I was always checking them. So that's one reason why this game, even we were going to rate it well, it's not a game that we go to all the time because there's other games where you have there's more wiggle room, more flexibility to do what you like to want to do.
Yeah.
So you did feel that I was checking all your moves,
Oh
right?
yeah. Well, I even said near the end, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go?
Right. So this
Which
has
is
that
okay.
in this game. So yes, it is cooperative, but usually the more experienced player is going to check everybody's moves.
Right.
Okay. So that's a negative for me because there's other cooperative games that do that better. So the graphic design has readability issues. So let me explain. If you look here at the epidemic cards, look at that font. Yellow on green there. That's just terrible. It's hard to read in low light. And if you have poor vision, good luck. So that's difficult. I don't care for all caps of cities. It's hard to read, and the font they picked is difficult. And why not make it bigger? You have space on the board. You could have increased this up. Mm-hmm. So again, just for readability, yellow on green does not look good. Even this yellow font here is hard to read.
Almost like a yellowish green.
Yeah. Now look, this is clear, but I wouldn't use all caps. But why not increase the size of that font?
Yeah.
You have all, oops, I have it upside down here. You have all this space here to do that. So again, if they come out with another edition here, try not to put certain colors over top of other colors. Don't use all caps. And increase the size of the font because you have room to do that. This is not Magic the Gathering where you have a lot of text that you got to put on there and have a really cool picture. I mean, all you're showing me on this card here is a map. Okay, big deal. I can see it on the board. So, and even then, you could still keep the map the size that it is, increase the size of the font. So that's just, for me, that's a negative because it could have been better. Okay, so the last thing last comment is the caution. So it's a tentative gateway game recommended for people who are ready to graduate from Monopoly and Sorry and things like that to Pandemic. Because just setting up the deck and understanding how to do outbreaks and following the sequence of, because we'll mess it up, like not doing the infection stage.
We did at the beginning of the playthrough. You'll see it.
And again, we've had this game since it came out, and we bought the new edition to go with the expansions. Mm-hmm. We forget to do that, okay? And we're experienced gamers. I grew up on Advanced Squire and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. SPI and Avalon Hill games.
Not me.
But the point is, yes, I do recommend this as a gateway game for someone who wants to graduate to the next level of gaming, if they can read for detail and follow instructions well. And if they can, they're going to have a successful experience, and then they'll play other games like Settlers and Carcassonne. Well, actually, Settlers and Carcassonne are probably easier.
Yeah.
Carcassonne's easier than this. But those are considered games that, okay, you're ready for a real game, quote unquote real game, to break into the hobby. Pandemic, I'd put more to the edge of it not being quite a gateway game. Now, if you teach casual gamers this game, and then they go out and buy it, then they're going to be successful because you've taught it to them.
Right.
So again, it's just a caution. Doesn't mean you shouldn't play it if you're watching this for the first time. And if you watch the playthrough, you're going to understand it and you watch how to play.
Right.
But some people will have a hard time following, because you've got to do things specifically in a specific way for this game to work well.
True.
And if you don't do those things, you'll have a bad experience.
I agree.
All right, so the next thing we do is that we give you our rating using the Board Game Geek 1 through 10 list.
Yep.
So here we go. So I said it was very good, enjoyed playing, would suggest it. So there was a period here, and Julie, you gave what?
8.5.
8.5. So you're almost at a 9.
Yeah, because I really do enjoy playing it, even though I struggle with the
outbreaks
and trading and all that.
But it's because you haven't played it a lot.
Because it's something fun. It's something, we can play together. We can play with other people. And it's just fun because you're like, I got to get it. I want to get it. I want to kill this. I want to do it. And I kind of like that part. I don't play video games, but I like doing that. So I really do enjoy it. It's not a 9 because I do have issues with that other stuff. But
Well, we just,
do
again,
enjoy
the
it.
reason why you're having issues is because this is the second time we've played this version of it in over 2 years.
True.
Okay, we did play the Cthulhu Mythos version a lot when it first came out, and we did play the
Dice
Spanish one with the trains,
don't
which we
remember.
didn't like, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, we stopped playing it midway through.
Did we?
We played our second or third game. Basically, we said, "I'm done." There was something with the trains we didn't like. I didn't like, and you didn't like it either.
I don't remember even
But-
what that game looks like.
It's the one that
Sorry.
takes place on the in Spain.
I don't.
Okay, you don't
I
remember. But the point is,
remember.
until we played this again, I would have rated it a 7 because I haven't played it in a long time. Then we played it again, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember why
We enjoyed
used
it.
to play this when it first came out." And the only reason why the Cthulhu's Mythos was rated higher is because it was new, and we were playing that one more than this one. So again, just to show you again the rating, 8 for me, 8.5 for Julie, and maybe when we add the expansions in, which we haven't been able to do yet, we will play that, or maybe even increase our rating even more.
Sure.
So, this is our review of Pandemic, and if we get 100 likes in any of the videos, either this review, the playthrough, or the how to play, we'll play Pandemic with the expansions.
Okay.
So please remember to subscribe and like,
I'm Julie.
and I'm David.